Hello there, welcome back to Crafters TV. I hope you're having a brilliant Thursday. And this, of course, the next 2 hours is all about craft along. So we're just going to take the tempo down a little bit, because later we're going to ramp it all the way back up again with an amazing cartload. Debbie is here with me for this amazing craft. Are you excited, Debbie?
I am super excited, and because it's with some of my favourite dies, our lovely Layered Gatefold edge dies, which are just amazing. And we are going to do a lovely craft along project. I'll give you that sneaky peek. We'll start straight in before we get to introduce our fabulous guest who we've got on joining us today. But we are going to show you how to, or should I say I am going to show you how to use them to get the best out of your die set. So this is the die that we're going to do. Now I'm making no apologies, there's no all singing, all dancing card involved today, because what we're going to do is we are going to show you how to use them. The thing that I keep getting asked and people sending in my messages is, how do you use them? How do you get your mats and layers? How do you use them? So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to show you a good old-fashioned how to use, but then you're going to make that, but you're also going to be shown how to create extras with them and do something a little bit different.
Nice, love a little bit extra.
Normally we do like a black and white concept card suite for you to have a little look at, for you to play with them in a different way, and that's exactly what we are going to do today. So we're going to make this one, we're going to make this one, we are going to make this one, and we are going to make this. So I'm going to teach you all of those basic card blanks and card blanks. You're going to do the titivation of those later. You're going to choose your papers. I'm going to show you how to. You are going to make a fully decorated one though. I did promise Sarah, she said to me, Debbie, show them how to use them, show them why they're fantastic and why you need these in your life. You might have already got them when you joined our lovely Corinne on the launch with these, but you've got me for the craft along. I'm going to show you how to, and then a few extras as well.
Nice.
And I'm hoping we haven't scared our special guest off. I hope she's still here.
She is.
And I can't wait to say hello to her, because I'm excited, and I know because it's the first time that she's joined us. So I'm really excited. So please don't be scared. Don't anybody be scared. Joe's going to give you the shopping list of what you need. Don't worry if you haven't got that particular paper pad. You can use anything. It's just showing you the basics, how you put it together. So, are you ready? Fasten yourselves in. It's 4 minutes past 2. You're going to get cramped.
Debbie's
get going.
Debbie, I don't know what's gone on with Debbie today,
but I'm so excited.
She's had 4 pieces of mango and she's flying high as a kite, honestly. Right, let me show you what you're going to need then for the next couple of hours. Here is all your bits and bobs. So you've got all of your edge gatefold dies, all the different ones are in there for you. Debbie has chosen to use the beginning of spring 12x12 pad and the timeless butterflies because she loves them, let's face it. You've got some additional elements that you might have. You've got the Gemini, you will also need the scoreboard, guillotine, multi-purpose cardstock, black card, your Gemini mini die, you've got ribbon, foam pads, some gems and some all-purpose glue within there as well. Now if you don't yet own these, don't worry, it's not too late. You can grab these today and come back and watch this back anytime you like. Let me take you through. We've managed to replicate the launch offer for you, which is excellent. So in here you have got your scalloped circle, which is the first one. You'll also get the stylish mosaic. That one there is your deco square. Then you've got the ellipse frame and also the vintage ticket in there as well. £51.96 or £59.80 is your price on those if you want to grab a hold of those. Everything of course is over on the website crafterscompanion.co.uk.com or .eu. Right, we do have a very special guest joining us. So Eileen is on the line. How's it going, Eileen?
Very well, thank you.
So lovely to have you on the show. Where are you joining us from?
I live in York.
Oh, it's lovely there. That Betty's Tea Room. Oh, delicious, oh, yes. Isn't it? So good. Honestly, I'd never get out. How long have you been watching Crafters TV for, Eileen?
Not very long. I've caught a couple of shows, but I'm telling the truth, I'm too busy to sit down and actually watch it. So I was absolutely amazed that I was invited to join you today.
Ah, amazing. Well, I'm so glad that you are here with us. Have you got all the bits and bobs sort of ready to go that you need?
I have, but I haven't got the one specified. But I've got stuff here that I can work along with.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. It doesn't matter at all. It's all about loads of education and inspiration. Right, I know. Well, Debbie, she's driving me hard today, Eileen, like a taskmaster. She really is. She's waving at me now.
Because I want to say hello. You keep forgetting. I want to say hello. Hi. I hope you're going to enjoy this. And it doesn't matter if you haven't got. There's plenty to choose from. So absolutely, just join in. It's just lovely to have you on the show with us. And
it's fantastic to be here.
Oh, that's really pleased me. I feel so. It's just lovely. Put a big smile on my face this afternoon. You are.
Well, if someone's from Australia, they're Australian, aren't they? If you're from Yorkshire, what are you? I was trying to think of this the other day, Eileen. I'm not sure. Yorkshirean doesn't sound right, does it?
Well, I'm a Yorkshire woman. Well, I'm not actually. I'm Gibraltarian, but I live in Yorkshire.
Yorkshirean, there you are. Right, anyway, I'm not going to distract you any longer. I can see Debbie's like a coiled spring over there. She's done all of her pre-show yoga, so she's ready to go. Eileen, I'll drop in on you again very shortly, all right?
Okay.
Excellent, wonderful. Any questions you've got as we go along? It'll work in the same way it always does. Debbie will take regular breaks. She will recap the steps for you. But if there's anything that you have missed, let me know in the comments. Crafters TV over on Facebook, Crafters Companion over on YouTube. Right then, Debbie. Here we go. Eyes down, look in.
Let's go, because we have got a lot to get through this one, because we are going to start with that decorated one, and then we'll move on to the black and white ones as we go along in the show. So choose whichever design. This is going to work for you. If this is just something you want to do a test run with, then absolutely choose just whichever die you want. I've gone with the first one, the vintage ticket. I love the shape of this one. So I'm going with the vintage ticket. So that's my die set that I'm using for this particular style of card. What you're going to need next is to take a sheet of your white multi-purpose cardstock, if that's your chosen cardstock that you are using to create this gatefold card with. If you're using anything else, that's absolutely fine. So black mat cardstock, craft cardstock, anything that's got good construction weight is going to be perfect. So it could be Centura Pearl, if it's Centura Pearl that you've got to hand. We give you a shopping list as a guide. You can use whatever you want. So my multi-purpose cardstock, I need to chop this down and put a couple of score lines into place. So I've got my large guillotine. I'm going to extend my little leg, arm, leg, whatever you want to call it, because what I want to do is start with the base of this card. We're going to make this 11 inches by 7 inches. So we're cutting across to 11 inches. So I'm going to pop that onto my guillotine. I'm going up to the 11-inch mark. Please always remember on the guillotine, it is up to the mark. Don't forget this is a guillotine with a workable scoreboard. So you're going up to that first line. So not over, up to the first line. Make sure it's flush along the top and snip away. That's 11 inches. Turn it onto the portrait side and then, or the short side, and we're going to cut this down to 7 inches. So I'm going to go up to that 7-inch mark. So you can see I've got the groove there. I've gone up to the first line and snip. And you've got your first piece cut to 11 inches by 7 inches. And then we're going to put a couple of score lines in. So 11 inches by 7 inches. And our 2 score lines that we're going to put in is we're going to use our scoreboard. Now this can be your large one or your small one. So if you've got a big one, that's absolutely fine. If you haven't, don't worry, because I'm going to show you. In fact, let me bring in my big one so I can show you. Either will work on this. You can use either. Obviously, if you're going for the larger of the scoreboards, you've got the full measurements to work from. So what I'm going to do is, I'll keep it on there for now, and I'll show you the score lines that we're going to put in. We're going to go in at 2 3/4. So your score line on your inch side of your board, the quarter mark is so this is your 2, and that's your 3. The middle line that goes a little bit higher up is your 2 1/2. The 1 in is the 1 in between there. So when you look at the 2 1/4, that's where we're going to, 2 3/4, that's where we're going to. So it's the second line down from number 3 that you're going into. And then we're going into the 8 1/4. And again, when you look at your scoreboard, you've got your 8 mark here, that's your 8 1/2. It's the second one, it's the middle line in between for your 8 1/4. And you're going to go in, just a couple of little gentle score lines. And you've got your 2 score marks. If I just put that to one side for the time being, let me remove that off there. We're then going to fold that in, and we're going to create our gatefold. So you get your you get your first line, fold it in, and the same on the other side, and you've got the perfect gatefold card, and that's what we're going to start with. That's our first card blank. Very easy. 11, 7, 2 3/4, 8 1/4. Score and burnish, and you've got your perfect score line ready for us to get going with our die set. So literally, I think I'm just going to, because we've got so much to get done in this show, I'm going to get you started straight away and carry on. Now, when we talk about these dies, you can see what you've got here is 2 centerpieces, which are full nesting dies. So there's no splits down them. They're two full nesting pieces, but they fit within the nesting dies. That's why they're still a nesting die at the end of the day, but you've got this layered edge gatefold part. Which again means because it's split in half, it makes it very easy to create all these different styles of cards. Now, to create the aperture of the gatefold, we're going in with the second. So when you look at your sheets and you see your dies, you've got 2 outer, a fraction larger dies, and then the 2 inner ones. And it's the 2 inner ones that we're wanting to create the aperture. So you take that one off and take that one off. And I want you to keep the others where they are for the time being. Including those, we'll put those back in there, because what we're going to use is those 2 inner ones, and we're going to create our aperture. I never said that word properly without saying it. So it always sounds posh when I say it. Aperture, 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 aperture. And when you take these dies...
Sounds like you're sneezing. Aperture. Aperture.
When you take these dies, you'll see that the outside cutting edge runs from the top part of the die all the way to the outside down to the very bottom. And how we line these up, now I always do this as it's folded. When I'm doing a gatefold, I like to put them both on there and then tape them down, but I do it one by one. So what I mean by that is, if I take this card blank, you can see I've made this slightly bigger. These dies are quite a substantial die. They're 6.2 in length. I've made it slightly bigger because I wanted a nice elongated gatefold with this one. But what you want to do is you want to take it to the very edge of that half fold, and you're going to tape this down. So if I just, and you can almost feel it like butts itself up against that line, and I'm going to tape it. Get some low tack tape. So let me bring in my low tack tape. Get a couple of pieces of low tack tape. Let me get all that ready while I'm got it all here, Joe. So get that back on, hold it into place, push it up to the butt edge of that card, and then position. And hold your low tack tape down on both sides. When you close that up, you can see it covers a little bit of it up. It's fine, It's absolutely fine, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up so that I match and marry that design on this fold, on this half. So I'll just pull that one out for a second so you can see what I mean. Take it up to that very edge and then hold this down with tape. Now I know that that's going to be that perfect aperture. When it cuts it out, it's going to be the perfect aperture. So pop that on, make sure it lines up with the top and the bottom. When you're happy with that and you can hold your finger, just move that out of the way for a time being. Push that across, hold it down, low tack tape it. Let me just get my finger out of the way because my finger's in the way. And it's as easy as that. And when you fold that back up, before you actually run it through your machine, just make sure it lines up. Looks absolutely fine. It's ready then to go on to, opening it up, go on to your platform and run it through your die cutting machine. So if I hold that out, let's put this in, pop that onto my large plate. If you haven't got a large Gemini, don't worry, this will work on your junior. You'll just do one part at a side. So if you're thinking about a junior, if I just go there, you can see that's the junior plate size. Just put it on the side and just put one half in and then flip reverse and go in at the other side with the other plate. So it's that easy. But if you've got a large Gemini, you can do this in one fell swoop. Now, with any of my straightforward dies, whenever I cut these, I think about the combination. It's not a decorative die, it's an outline die. It creates that gatefold, it creates that aperture. It's a very simple die. So for me, and I would recommend that if you're using a Gemini, try this combination first. If it doesn't cut through your cardstock, this is 300 GSM, but if it doesn't cut through it, then you can add your magnetic shim to it. But I always try with the lowest platform.
Why do we always go with the lowest platform
because
first,
it's not
Debbie?
a decorative die.
Right.
It doesn't need the same amount of pressure in terms of a trim. Could you hear that? That's fine.
Yeah.
That's put through.
So do we run the risk of damaging the card then if we put too much pressure
So
in?
you can not much damage the card, but if you put too much pressure, what can happen is that your plates take the hit.
Right.
So, and it's then that's when your plates, we talk about, and we do talk about plates being a consumable, they are a consumable, but if you want your plates to last a long time, and we'd still do the flipping, we still do the rotating, but it's always down to that pressure. And the amount of times that I've seen people go in with an intricate die that's not overly intricate, but they take the metal shim, magnetic shim, plastic shim, tool cutting plates, it's too much pressure. You're asking the machine to do way too much, and it can take the hit on your plates. That's why I always recommend starting with the lower. You can always tell if it hasn't cut because it almost looks like a little paper line, like a pencil line. But I know that that is fine, so I'm just going to lift this tape off. Just bear with me while I find my pokey tool. I'm just going to take the tape off. See if I can get my finger underneath there. I always pull the tape towards me as well. It stops the card from ripping. It makes it a little bit easier when you're taking it off. And try and remember that because our tape is a very strong tape. It really is a super strong tape. But when you're pulling it off and you don't want to rip your cardstock, bring it towards you like that and take it off. And when you take that off, it removes that piece instantly. Just flip reverse it and exactly the same. Take your tape, remove, and the same with that piece and remove. Now if you've got a little bit like that, all I'm going to say is just trim it with your scissors. It really should sit on the line of the card, that particular piece, so it stops that from happening. So when you're taking that die up to the very edge, make sure it sits on that line and it makes it very easy for it to cut out. Okay, and there you go. You've got your, first of all, your first part of your aperture cut through. And I'm going to pause it there just for a second.
Amazing.
And just check that everyone's okay with that and let everybody get to go, because holding it down, making it sure and put it through your die, and especially if you've got a Gemini Junior and you're running it through sideways, you've got a couple of little passes to put through. So that's the way you should have your first gatefold. And then we're going to move on to those layers.
Brilliant.
And show you how you use this next set of dies to create the layers.
Excellent. A lot of you tuning in saying hello. Alicia's in, says good morning. Greetings from Arkansas. Joe and Debbie and the CTV crew and family working while listening. Shadia's here. Sarah Brown's in. It's 1 a.m. in Melbourne. She's letting us know. I think the time's got worse now, Debbie.
Oh,
because when our clocks go, so when clocks go back, theirs go forward.
Oh.
So rather than getting an extra hour, it gets 2 hours further apart.
Oh no!
Very strange, isn't it? Carol's in from Wisconsin, Tammy's in Philly, Jill is in Ripon, just up the road from Eileen. Let's go and see how Eileen's getting on actually in York. How's it coming along so far, Eileen? Are you managing to follow along?
Okay, yeah, I've got you.
That looks brilliant. Absolutely delightful. Right, I won't distract you for any longer. Charlotte was telling me she was in Ripon the other day. Was it nice, Charlotte? What did you get up to? Walk along the canal. Nice. Did you eat anything? They made you, what, a picnic? Oh, a Sunday dinner. What, you ate it in Ripon? Oh, they're staying there, sorry. I thought, gosh, it feels really weird taking a Sunday roast all the way from Morpeth to Ripon, but now I realised they were staying there. Did you drink anything delicious? You had a beer? Any specific brand? An IPA, was it a pint or a half pint? It was a bottle. Excellent. All right, I feel like I have all the details now. Thank you for that. Thank you. Laurie says, good morning from Gilbert, Arizona. Kathy is in Missouri. Clarice is in South Carolina. Everyone's very chatty on this Thursday, Debbie. Mary Pat's in La Quieta. Adriana in Texas. Wendy's in Oregon. No specific questions about anything yet. Lots of lovely hellos for Eileen as well. So yes, delightful. If you are ready to carry on, I think everyone else is pretty much good to go.
Can we just say, do you know Craft Along? Because it's out there now.
What?
Award-winning.
Yes.
Award-winning for the second year.
Best online workshop.
Best online workshop. Can we just give a big whoop whoop to everybody here at Crafters TV? Whoop whoop whoop.
Whoop,
yeah,
whoop, whoop,
absolutely.
whoop,
Our Craft Along show for the second year running, because those awards are out there now.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
Excuse me, I've got a bit of the Derek Akoras again about me. I don't know what's going on.
Are you all right?
I keep sounding, I sound like I'm sort of possessed. I don't know what's going on with my voice this week, Deb. It keeps going. Alison said, did you guys see the list of Craft Awards winners? I saw it this morning. Way to go, CC and team. Yes, Sarah won Female Crafting Personality of the Year, which is great. We won Best Customer Service, Best Brand, Best Die Cutting. They're all there on the web. You can go and find them. But we did win absolutely loads, which was lovely.
It was
good, wasn't it? We were sat in there, weren't we? I was eating my pizza, Debbie was eating her tatty, and we were going through them all, yeah.
Yeah, just lovely, absolutely lovely. Right, ready for the second stage?
Yes.
Get your paper pad out. So I've gone with, now I know that this has been incredibly popular throughout the birthday event because it's actually sold out. The spring, I think, what's it called? The beginnings of spring, this paper pad. One of my, absolute favourites. I love it. But I've chosen this one. If you don't have it, you can choose whatever paper you want to choose or card. It's down to you, this bit. But I'm going to give you the measurements that will fit inside this particular gatefold. So first things first, we're going to have a piece that sits in the centre. So we're going to cut a piece that measures at 5 1/4. So we're going to take it up to the 5 1/4 mark, which is the, excuse me, Charlotte, I'll bring that down for you. There you go. We're going to go to the 5 1/4, which is the first main notch at the top. Because if you remember about our guillotine and our scoreboard, because it is a guillotine and scoreboard in one, at the top part is the inches, at the bottom part is the centimetres if you want to. It's okay, don't worry, I can do it, Charlotte, don't worry. Because you do have both options. If you were measuring in centimetres, you go down to the bottom, and measure it in inches, go up to the top. So we're going to go in at that 5 1/4 mark. Let's bring that back down so you can see that in view. 5 1/4 by 6 3/4. So the 6 3/4, if you've got this extended, you'll see where it is. I know that that's number 7, so I know that that one is 6 3/4. That one is going to be the inside panel. And it's that perfect framing of 1/4 inch in. I like that framing. I think it's really nice. If you wanted to add like a solid colour underneath, maybe do your solid colour in that size and then take it down a notch if you want to double matte and layer it. So that one, if you were doing it in plain, would be 5 1/4 by 6 3/4, and then you do a pattern piece at 5 by 6 1/2. That's if you want to double layer it. I think that paper's beautiful on its own. I think it looks absolutely smashing like that with the white. I think it makes it pop. Now then, coming to use the second dies in this collection, you're going to use the outer part to create the perfect part. If I just bring this out for a second, so I've put them all back on there, but I'm taking the outer die. Because if you look at this now, and I'm going to put it on that way so you can see why, it's perfectly proportioned, perfectly sized to create the perfect mat. Now I know that it's fallen short because I've gone with the taller one. However, you know that the outer die creates the perfect mat for your layers. How do you work that out? Well, this bit, if it was a solid, is the bit that you would take your measurement from. Because I've gone in with a 1/4 inch, I'm going to do exactly the same with these panels. And these panels, I've still got 6 3/4 in dimension, at length, shall I say, but in the width, we're going to go to 2 1/2 because they actually, those pieces actually measure in at 2 3/4 if you were thinking that as a solid card, not with the aperture missing. So that's how you would always work out. Whatever your dimension of your gatefold is what you would cut down your patterned cardstock to, and depending on how big you wanted your frame around, 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, that's how you would work those out. And then the dies will do the work for you. So we're going to come in again with that beautiful paper, and we're going to measure our two pieces now at, we'll do the 2 1/2 because I'm going to get more out of my cardstock. So I'm going to go at the 2 1/2 mark. Like so, and then the 6 3/4. So if I go again, you can see I've got my 2 1/2 by my 6 3/4, and save these pieces because we're going to use those for the other particular dies. There we go. But you've got two panels. Move my guillotine out of the way, and if I bring that in just for a second, let me remove that one. You've got the two perfect panels. Imagine that was a full piece. Can you see that lovely framing is perfect. And then we're going to put our dies onto these because I've got 2 pieces of those that are now going to cut out that lovely frame that it all ties in and works together.
Amazing.
Now, how I do it is, you could do a guesswork. Now, I will just tell you, if you do guesswork, I pretty much can guarantee something will be a fraction out.
Right, of course.
So I don't do anything by guess. I take my cardstock on, and if I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll put that underneath so you can see what I mean. I think you might be able to see it a bit visually better. So can you see where you've got the top? If I move that away, the start of there. When you pop in your outer die, so the larger die, and position your cardstock on, you don't stick anything down. We're not sticking anything down. We're just going to layer it on so that I know that that's... You can do measurements with pencil and marking them off and marking the measurements, but you can do it by eye. And it's a lot easier when you've physically got that on there. And all you've got to do, Joe, is, again, move it to the very edge. Place that on the edge of your cardstock and then hold it down with some low-tack tape. If I do that there on both sides. Now I know that that will now be the perfect panel, perfectly cut because of the size of this die, how it works, and it will fit perfectly over the top of there. And it would be the same with the other side as well. So again, bringing that panel back in. I wonder if that'll work better if I put it on the solid colour. There, that's better. Let's put that there for you. So you can see again, by simply just positioning it, popping it onto the very end, and I can see again, that works perfectly. Hold that down with a little bit of low-tack tape. And that's how I would do it. Like I said,
there is ways, if you've got a lesson go there, so it's easy to get your mat layer to the left or the right, isn't it?
Yeah.
Move it horizontally to get it evenly all the way around the after is very difficult.
Yeah, and this is why I think it's good to do a visual, and you can see when you look at those two now side by side, they're absolutely perfect. And so if you just want to repeat that, just to make sure before you die cut through it, I mean, at the end of the day, it's just a bit of cardstock, but when I say a bit of cardstock, I'm talking cardstock that's absolutely glorious, and I won't want this to go wrong, this bit. But can you see now, I'm just double checking before I actually run that through.
Amazing.
Put them through your die cutting machine. So let's go in again. Now it is a cardstock again, so I probably will try it without the, let's see if we can get them both on me Gemini. Yeah, we should be fine on me, oh, I've just seen that's moved slightly. That's why it's important with the low-tack tape to hold it down so it doesn't move during the die cutting process. But again, because it's just a simple die, I'm going to run it through with the less plate system, the less shims to start with. 2 cutting plates and the plastic shim, and we'll see what that does. If it doesn't cut, I can then add the magnetic shim if need be. So it's it's the ways and means that you get to know your machine. And again, just turn it over. You'll tell if it's cut. Oh, this is a good one. That bit there. So this is cut fine, but that bit hasn't. So I'm going to put those back on. And this is what I'm saying about longevity of your plates. And what harm has it been to just do that in stages? Not really, but the plate system means that I won't damage my plates as much as if I go in with that higher pressure. So it's always about the lower the pressure, and we always say that. There's something that I learnt from Leanne very, very early on, because I was one of those that used to whack everything at it and then go through plates like the rate of knots. And I don't want to go through with plates like a rate of knots. They are consumable, but I don't want to be replacing them every 2 minutes.
To add to more confusion, the original Christine Mahoney has changed. She was called I Love Craig on YouTube, wasn't she? She's changed her name now. Well, because she was born Christine Mahoney, and our Christine Mahoney, Christine Paper Pad Mahoney, she became a Mahoney. So actually, Christine Mahoney, who is actually now really called Christine Andrus, is the original, the OG Christine Mahoney. She's now changed her name on YouTube to Christine Andrus. So it makes it, I mean, I don't know where I'm at now. So there really is only one Christine Mahoney now. It's very confusing.
Dear.
We should have Christine Paper Pad Mahoney and Christine OG Mahoney.
Oh, you're trying to confuse me. I had all but keeping up with it yesterday.
I mean, yesterday, I was questioning my own sanity, wasn't I, by the end of the show yesterday, Debbie?
By the time the day was over, weren't we? Yeah, we were. So again, I'm trying to find my tape, Joe, because I think I put more than one piece of tape down on this, like a silly Billy that I am. But just get into your tape and then pull it towards you, and then remove the die, and you've got your two perfectly proportioned, perfectly sized and perfectly cut frames that you then can pop on. Excuse me, move that out of the way so you can see it a little bit better. where we've got those that now sit perfectly into their frames, and you're just going to glue those down. So we can do that stage now, so I'm going to catch up, but what I'll just ask you to do is decide whether you want the plain, nothing plain about that, decide whether you want it to be a nice, you know, contrast, or decide whether you want full on cardstock and full on patterned, and I think I'm going to go in with full on patterns. So stick all your panels down with your chosen glue. I could do it that way if I wanted to. Let's go in and do it that way. So you've got choices if you've got a double-sided pad. I mean, it's entirely up to you, but just position it with your glue. So get your glue on and we'll stick those down, and then we'll do the decoration, which means then we've nearly completed the first part of the craft along, and we're about to get on with all the rest as well. So get your glue, get yourself gluing, get all your pieces stuck down, and then we'll continue with the rest.
Amazing. Right, I want to share something else with you then that's on the show, part of our double discount deals that we are running for the later cartload show. Remember, cartload's coming up 6 p.m. in the UK, 2 p.m. East Coast, 11 a.m. if you're over on the West Coast. And what you're going to get in this particular one is you've got a load of gorgeous A3 Centura Pearl. So you've got 20 sheets of the pastels, which is just a really lovely selection of colour. The yellow there and the blue, absolutely beautiful. You've got that wonderful sage green in there. It's 310 GSM, and it is just the most beautiful pearlescent shine that you're going to get on there. You will then get 25 sheets of the hint of silver, which is this lovely white with that silver pearlescent undertone in there as well. So you've got that one. And then you will also get 25 sheets of this one, the Snow White hint of gold. So it's still that beautiful silver, but can you see how the pearlescence there is just a bit warmer? It's got that lovely gold element to it. £25.81 or £38.05 is your price there on those. Essentially, you're buying two and getting one for free when you get it in that configuration. Lots of you still chatting away as well. Samantha Cheney saying hi. Kate in California says, I'm watching at work, having arrived super early. Shh, don't tell my boss. We won't if you don't tell, don't worry. Samantha Cheney's in. Michelle Knits for You saying hi. Mandy Clayton is here as well. Mandy is in York too. There you are. Gail is in Maryland. A lot to chat about the Craft Beautiful Awards as well. Audrey says, you are the best craft show out there. Congrats to everyone. Shadia says, well deserved, because all of us have voted for you. Whoop, whoop. Jill says, Charlotte, you're about 5 minutes away from my house. Hope you enjoyed your day. Did you enjoy your day, Charlotte? She did. She said it was lovely. Mary Rhino's in too. Valerie Puccini's here from Arizona. Christine Andrus Nee Mahoney says, I'm so happy I stocked up on this paper. Absolutely beautiful. Congrats from Samantha Cheney coming in too. And Mandy Caden says their first time watching. They're here because their friend Eileen is our special guest. She is. I can see Eileen in the bottom of our screen, beavering away. Alison loving the pastels, like an ice cream sorbet, she says, about that Centura Pearl. Christine Andrus, Nee Mahoney says, oh no, not again. Poor Joe. I know, it's difficult, Christine, it really is. And Myra says, great advice about the plates there too.
Yes.
The other Christine Paperpad Mahoney says, thank you very much, we all know who I am. Lol. We do, Christine, we really do. Should we quickly check in on Eileen, see how she's getting on in York? How's it coming along, Eileen?
Going along fine, thank you. Yeah, I'm just having difficulty aligning one of the panels. But yeah, I'm getting there.
Brilliant. All right, I won't distract you for much longer. If you've got any other specific questions about anything to do with this craft along, you can get in touch with me, Crafters TV on Facebook, Crafters Companion if you are over on YouTube. But I think we are good to push on. Push on. That was a cross between press on and push on now.
Push on and press on.
Press on if you'd like, Debbie.
Well, we can. And because those dies, like I said, if you work with the inner gatefold die to create the aperture, the outer one to create the panels, and as long as you remember with your panels, whether you're going like we did this morning, that actually won card of the show earlier on, whether you're going for a larger gatefold and a smaller gatefold, as long as you remember these dies are perfectly proportioned to get that precise fit round your gatefold aperture. So that's why they've been designed. They've really taken out all the hard work. We used to try and work it out before in the past, popping them on, sticking it down with a little bit of tape, putting his aperture in. You don't have to do that anymore because it's got these lovely dies and really lovely shapes. This ticket shape is just one of the most gorgeous designs. And you can see how it's been perfectly perfectly proportioned to create that lovely aperture and that lovely perfect matte layer. And with your chosen papers, I mean, this paper pad, oh my God, it's just absolutely gorgeous. I love it. But what we're going to do, Joe, is we're going to work on those nesting dies, because if you've also noticed, the 2 nesting dies actually fit, and they're perfectly proportioned as well to fit in the centre of your gatefold, where it can house your sentiments and things like that. So I'm going to use a little fraction of some white cardstock. I'm going to keep it in the theme with the card that I'm choosing. So I'm just going to cut a little bit of the white multi-purpose cardstock down to size. And then going back to some of those scrap pieces, which were little, I can use that for me inner part. And I am going to keep it quite similar in the taste of the colour scheme. So we're going to use those 2, and we're going to now pop those down, and we're going to run those through. Now, while we've got a bit of space on his machine, as plates, we're going to cut out our sentiments. Now, I've used one of our Elements dies, which is the With Love. It's one of my favourites. It sits on my craft desk, and I use it ever such a lot. It fits just over, but it looks quite effective. So I'm going to go in with that one. So I'm going to take some white cardstock. You could choose any sentiment you want. If you don't have the With Love, choose a sentiment that works for you. It's just a generic one for me, and sometimes I think it's really nice to pop that on. And while we're at it, while we're doing the titivation, I mean, I cannot wait for this craft along, can I tell you, because I've got it.
Have you?
Timeless Butterflies. I have got.
Do you know
that
when it is,
craft
Debbie?
along. It's very soon. It's this month. And Debbie can't remember. I can't remember.
Timeless Butterflies.
I have got the Timeless Butterflies. It's very soon. I'm talking next couple of weeks. It's in. Is it next week, Producer Johnny? Might have to ask Producer Johnny where we've got this gorgeous collection. It's just my absolute favourite. I love the papers that come with it, but I'm actually going to use the dies for this particular project just using multi-purpose cardstock.
You've used these you've used these so much, haven't you? You love them.
When I tell you that I love this die set, I am beyond excited that they've given me. Yeah, I thought it was soon. Yeah, I think.
It's the 17th of November. I don't think I'm doing that one with you.
No, I don't think you are. I think it's me. Oh yes, it is. It's Craig. It's me and our Craig. You must be busy, Joe.
I must be off that day.
You must be off that day. Yes, I think you are. So I've got my gorgeous Craig with me. Not that you're not gorgeous, because you are, but my gorgeous Craig's going to be with me. So I'm just taking a few. This is literally just for decoration. And that's the beautiful thing. You've got those gorgeous timed butterflies, which, by the way, I will just tell you, we will be using them all. But yes, I can't wait. I've got to work on a really good project for that one. I've got to come out with something pretty amazing. Since I did realise that the Craft Expert of the Year came down to the stars on the board. Debbie, being a bit daft, didn't realise that that's what that was for. I just thought that was a nice little...
Just a tally?
I just thought it were a little competition, a little bit of healthy competition for us all. Had no idea, absolutely no idea, that that's what it was for, that it was for the Craft Expert of the Year award. Bear in mind, I haven't forgotten that now.
I'm glad we put a brand new one up as well. I'm glad we haven't just picked the stars off the old one.
It's Producer Johnny didn't know, he didn't realise. I'm going to move these onto my larger plate because I can get more on there. So yeah, Producer Johnny, they've just taken the stars off.
But you've got the Ghost of Stars Past on there, haven't you? Because you can see where the other stars were.
Yeah, and our Michelle's got the first one because she got the October,
Which I mean, I'm not one to stir things up, right?
Well, I'm not going to lie.
Michelle was 1 star short of being joint winner with the other 2.
So was
now, as far as I'm concerned,
so was I.
Michelle's star for card of the month for October should have gone into the last tally, not into this tally.
Oh,
therefore, she should have been joint winner with the others.
Are you throwing shade out there?
Not throwing shade. I'm just stating facts. I've kept all the receipts, Debbie.
You are being a bit naughty, Mr. Remblance.
Because if you'd have done card of the month before birthdays, then she should have had the star on the last tally, not on this tally.
But to be fair, no.
Why?
Because
to be fair, no.
Because it went into a new week. It wasn't the end of the month, so I understand why they've done what they've done. But do you know what, Michelle? Do you know what that means? You've got a head start. You've got a head start with an extra month. So yeah, you'll be fine. You'll be absolutely fine. So I can understand why they did it.
Michelle.
I can understand why they did it. I'd be fuming. That is so funny. So I've got my sentiment, I've got one of my mats and layers, they're going to sit inside each other. I've got my little butterflies. Again, this is just literally purely for decoration. We've done the main element, we are just decorating now. So get all your bits and bobs out. It may be that you've chosen something else to pop on yours, your craft along project. I'm just going to let me get the tape off. That would help if I got all the tape off. There we go. And just take all that out. Get rid of that bit. Tape off my dies. I absolutely love these dies. I can't wait for that craft along actually, Joe. It's a shame you're not, that you are off, that you're not going to be here.
Yeah, I'm definitely not going to be here for that.
Yeah, you would have, well, I say you would have loved it, but I think you'll love it. I have got something in mind that I'm going to do. Shan't share with you just yet, but keep your eyes peeled. And I'm coming for Michelle's star. Right, so let's just move all those out of the way and literally just get all of those, put the dies to one side. I've got all my butterflies. We're going to take off these pieces and then we're going to just literally now, and I'm going to put those back on me, my carrier sheet just to make sure I've got everything in order. There we go. And then lastly, let me just make sure, put that on, because I know what I'm like, I end up throwing things in the bin. We don't want to be doing that. You could ink round these edges if you wanted to. Again, I'm just showing you the basics, basically, of this die set and how to use it. And when we finish this, we're going to move on to those lovely different ways that you can use them as well, and give you some more ideas. And I think we're in line to being on time, so we should be okay. Right, so all my bits and bobs, I'll move those dies in a second. We're going to do a little bit of, and I'm just going to put some foam pads on the back of mine. So if I grab my foam pads, let's pop, I'll just put one on there and pop that into the set. Oh, don't start with me today, mister. Come on, you little devil. Oh, where's my poker tool? Do you know, I've had a bit of a mare with my foam pads.
Have you?
I have, yes. I don't know if it's why they won't come off the backing, but I'm struggling with it. And because of that, I am going to put a little bit of glue.
It's because you hadn't used them for so long. You'd been using chunky glue. They're fed up. They've had enough, Debs. They're like, who does she think she is now, coming back exclusively using foam pads after she's extolled the virtues of chunky glue all this time? That's why they're annoyed.
So I'm going to stick that into the centre, and I'm actually going to use a couple more foam pads. As much as they're annoying me, I'm going to use a couple more foam pads. Just to lift that. Again, you can do this with your foam pads. Foam pads are brilliant, but over time they can lose the stickiness. So I do tend to put a bit of glue. Look at it, it don't want to come off, Joe. It's been a little devil. I think you might be right. It might be the chunky glue having its... Come on, you little devil.
Crafting Queen says, Joe, quotes, I'm not one to stir. Camera pans steadily away to image of Joe with not a spoon to do the stirring, but a blooming huge big oar.
You are, aren't you?
I can't disagree with you there, I'm sorry.
So fold your gatefold, and because I have used a bit, oh, I've knocked it now, I've used my wet glue, let me just move that across. Let's just pop that across. You want to make sure it's in the centre, not off centre like that one was just a second ago. But pop that down, and then you can position that into place. So you've got that perfect mat and layer in the centre. And then all I'm going to do is pop a little bit of tacky glue onto the back of my sentiments, like so. You could use your dotty tape pen if you've got your dotty tape pen. Choice of glue is your choice. And that is going to sit in the centre part, like so. And then all I'm going to do is take my little butterflies and literally, this is when you can ink your butterflies, but we're just going to have a little play. I'm going to put them like they're scattering across from this bottom corner going all the way up to the top. I'm going to shape them a little bit and then just put me wet glue and have a little play.
Would you like to know what awards we won, Debbie?
Go on then.
Best brand, best customer service, best scrapbooking collection, best stamping range, best die cutting range, best workshop, craft along, and female personality of the year for Sarah.
Oh, that's amazing. Absolutely amazing. That's really, you know, it's fabulous, isn't it? Absolutely fabulous that we've won so many awards this year. That's amazing. And customer service one I love because they work so tirelessly. And if you ever have any problems, you only have to give them a quick ring and they'll sort it out for you. The best.
They are
to the
brilliant,
best of
aren't
their
they?
ability. They really are. So, and they're such lovely ladies. And you know, to be fair, the customer service team, it's not a big team.
Not a huge team,
It's
is
not
it?
a big team at all. So they work tirelessly, and obviously through birthday, even more so. I actually popped into a warehouse yesterday. Oh my God, they were running around like, there were so many pallets, but they were running around literally like the speed of lightning.
Well, tens of thousands of orders to process.
I mean, I normally go to it, but good grief.
Is this when you went and got all the deliveries for everyone in the office?
You are a little devil, you. No, it's when I went to go and pick all my bits out from my mystery bag. That's why I didn't want to tell you.
You should have brought some of the parcels back for everyone while you were there.
You little swine, you. Behave yourself. Get that all put away.
Oh, there's a story there. There is
A story, and I'll share with you later, Johnny. I've got myself a little ribbon for the top corner, so I will bring in my chunky glue. I'll bring my chunky glue in for that. I'll save some of those butterflies for later. But basically, what I wanted to just show you was how to put together your gatefold layered edge dies to create that perfect, and it is a perfect when Charlotte gets on there. Shade.
Sorry, she was on the phone to Mum.
So that was how I wanted to show you how to use them in their very basic way, in their intended form that Leanne and the team developed for us here at Crafters Companion for you lovely lot. That's how you create that beautiful gatefold with the layered edge. Decoration is entirely up to you, but we're going to move on, and I think we've got plenty of time now.
Oh, Debbie, we've got over an hour left.
I know, but I wanted to make sure we could get a lot of these in. So that's why we've gone full steam ahead, showing you how to work it, showing you how to put them together, all the measurements to create that. And then all the different ways that you're going to use it is what we're going to move on to next.
Brilliant. Right, we'll have a really quick break then, give everyone a chance to just get caught up with that. And then we will move on to the next part of this craft along. So whilst you do that, why don't we get to know Craig?
My name's Craig Laird. I work at Crafters Companion. I am a craft expert where I get to play with lots of crafty goodies from Crafters Companion, and hopefully we're here to inspire you with lots of crafty things that you can do. So my crafting journey, that started many years ago, actually just over 20 years ago. I actually came across crafting on UK Shopping TV. I was unwell at the time, and I was just channel surfing, just having a look to see what was on TV, and then I came across who has now become my friend Dawn Bibby, and I thought, oh, quite like that bit of crafting that she's doing. I purchased some crafty goodies, and before you know it, here I am, all these years later, doing what I'm doing with Crafters Companion. So believe it or not, none of my family or friends are actually very creative. So the creative side in me has actually just progressed naturally. As I have progressed, I've become really good friends with many craft experts out there in the industry, and they're the ones that inspire me. Then coming to Crafters Companion, Crafters TV, and interacting with all the crafters at home, seeing what they make. I am a huge advocate for social media because you get to see lots of things that everyone makes at home, and that does inspire me as well. Many years ago, before I started here at Crafters Companion, believe it or not, I didn't have a lot of confidence. I didn't go out a lot, I didn't do much. Now, with Crafters Companion and Crafters TV, it's given me so much confidence, self-belief. My biggest crafting success, I'm going to have to pick two. One of them is appearing on HSN America. I was really lucky a couple of years ago to actually go to Florida with Sarah to see how it all works behind the scenes. An incredible juggernaut that the shopping TV is at HSN. That for me is an incredible proud moment. I will never ever forget when all of you incredible crafters at home voted enough for me to be in the running of the 2021 Male Craft Personality of the Year. Was such a humbling feeling. I was so proud. I was so grateful. Our Crafters TV audience are absolutely incredible. For me personally, it is personal interaction. I've never had the best of health. I've always been open about that with our viewers, and the support that I get. So many people are in the same situation as me health-wise, but if you just want that interaction, you just want to have that chat away about anything random in life, onto social media, onto Crafters TV, you know that you're going to get that support, you're going to get that understanding when it comes to the crafters at home.
The lovely Craigle Bagel there. Lots of you still chatting away in the comments. Catherine says hi from the Isle of Wight. Beautifully sunny apparently today in the Isle of Wight. Isle of Wight is somewhere I've never been, Debbie, you know that?
Me neither.
No, I've never been to the Isle of Wight, and the other place I've never been to is the island of Ireland either, and it's just there. Never been to Ireland.
Ireland, it's
I've
gorgeous.
never been to Ireland, it's literally right there. Diana loving the pearlescent cardstock. Rhonda saying how much they love the Times butterflies and they can't wait for the 17th to come round. Kim uses butterflies with a paper pad, love them too. A lot of people saying how lovely that craft along is as well. Laura Miller loved it. Pretty, says Lynn. Mandy says, I've never used these dies before, but I've been inspired. And Eileen can now teach me as well. Absolutely, you can. Should we go and drop in on Eileen? Say how she's doing, how she's crafting along. How's it going, Eileen?
Great, I've just finished it.
Oh, amazing.
All but a ribbon. Can you see that?
Oh, amazing. Look at that, Debbie.
Oh, that my country lane. Oh, I love the country lane. That's the country lane.
No, it's the hummingbird.
Oh, is it the hummingbird? I think
Yeah, and I've done it all in
a little bit, but that's
parchment.
beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, really
Love
stunning.
it.
Beautiful. Right, Eileen, then I will let you get ready for the second instalment.
Okay, up.
So, still in the comments, Clarissa's gorgeous, Mary Pat says beautiful. Yvonne, what a great name. Yvonne Candelario. What a great name. Candelario is in New York City, of course, with a name like Yvonne Candelario. Of course she lives in New York City, probably in Manhattan, I would say, maybe on like the Upper East Side. I don't know where that is, but it sounds fancy, doesn't it, Debbie?
Indeed.
Crafter Die 22 says good morning from California. Sorry I'm late to the party. We'll let you off this time, Crafter Die 22, but try not to make a habit of it, yeah? Right then, Debbie. I'm only joking. You do what you want to. Mute us for if you want. Right then, Debbie, would you like to push on with the next bit? Are you good to go?
I'm good to go.
Brilliant.
I'm going to show you. We're going to now attempt to do 4 different styles of these cards in how you can use your beautiful dies in lots of other ways. Save that one till a little bit later. I might start with a nice easy one. So let's start with this one. Apologies that it's in black and white, but I wanted to give you a template card with these, which is why we're not going to dedicate it to lots of craft alongs with lots of different pretty papers. If you give you a template card and you show how to work it and give you the measurements, you can then take it into your crafting. Or if Eileen wants to, she can absolutely do this with, she's got a beautiful dragonfly cardstock. You could do that and then decorate it with your sentiments and everything later if you want to do that, Eileen. The same with you guys out there watching the craft along right now. If you want to use that as a template card with your papers and your cardstock, absolutely, you can do. I'm going to stick to black and white just as that concept so you can see it, and it's more striking when you see it in black and white. But yes, so that's exactly what we're going to do. So grab yourselves another sheet of multi-purpose cardstock if that's what you chose to use. So this card blank is actually measuring 5 by 7. So with that dimension needed, I need to cut a piece of cardstock to, if I grab my guillotine, bring this back out. A 5 by 7 dimension means I need to cut my cardstock to 10 inches by 7 inches. So we're going to go in 10 inches by 7 inches. Bearing in mind this can be any dimension, but for the size of this particular card, that's what we're going with. We are going to put a score line into place at 5. So we've got our 5 by 7 card blank. So if I just go in straight down there, you've got your 5 by 7 card blank. Now I'm going to cut my panel before we start placing anything in. So choose your card, your pattern card, whatever it is. in. Do you know what? I was just thinking, should I do it with some pattern cardstock? What do you think, Joe?
Yeah,
Should I
pattern
choose-
cardstock.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's get some
why
pattern
not?
cardstock. I've got my pad with me. I've got my pad. I can always decorate these later. Let's go in with... Ooh, so many gorgeous colours. I'm going to cut this panel to 4 3/4 by 6 3/4 because I like that 1/2 inch depth. So let's go in, cut this down to... Now with this one I want to get most out of my paper, so I'm going to cut this down to 4 3/4 inches by 6 3/4. And if I just bring in my card blank, you'll now see that you've got a perfect matten layer to work from, which is what we're going to do now with the dies. Now, it's up to you which die set you choose. Again, if Eileen's only got the one set, Eileen, keep using those die sets to create these. That's absolutely fine. What have I done with my die sets? I had them a second ago, Joe. Just bear with me. Oh, I've put them here. There they are. I'm going to go in with, let's go in with the scallop circle. So we're going to use this one. So again, when you're thinking about how we're going to die cut with these, what we're going to do is we're going to create the first part and we're going to cut into the cardstock. So move your pattern, we're going to create the aperture, and it's like every single one of these die sets the same. You've got 2 inner parts that create the matten layer, and then you've got an inner and an outer, and to create the aperture, it's the inner panel. And we're going to place that just onto the very edge, really nice and simple, this one. Position it wherever you want actually, so you could go a little bit higher if you wanted to, go a little bit lower if you wanted to. Oh, that'd look nice, wouldn't it?
Nice.
And then you could cut into scallops down here at the side as well. There's lots of ways that you can use these. I've already seen some amazing makes out there, let me tell you, Joe. Some of our amazing design team have shared their amazing makes. But all you need to remember with that outside edge is keep it to the flush edge of your cardstock.
Okay,
Open it up and run it through. And I'm going to stick to my small plates. So again, you can see it just comes over to that edge, slightly moved again, he's a little devil, that, there you go, right up to that edge and run that through. And again, because it's only just the one piece of cardstock, let's go in and run that through. Again, if it doesn't cut through, add the extra plate, it's absolutely fine, there's nothing wrong with that at all. I just prefer it that way. Now I didn't hear the crunching, so did it cut through? Shall we have a look? Yeah, of course it did. So cut through, remove it, and you've got your lovely little panel cut out, but we're not going to put anything on the underneath. I mean, you could if you wanted to. We're going to now die cut with the outer side. So again, if I just pop that back on, it's carrier sheet. That's the inner one. Bring out the outer one. Again, the same way, if I just move the plate for a second, the same way, it's the easiest way I can describe it. Let me open that cardstock so you can see it a bit better. There you go. The easiest way to do this is you don't stick it down and then put it on and hope for it to cut out best. No. You keep it, it's just as a little guide. It's just a little visual. And I can see that, again, I want it to have that little bit of an inch frame. There we go. Sit that on the edge. And again, before you do anything, hold it down with that low tack tape, round both, remove it from the cardstock and run it through your die cutting machine. And now because it's a thinner paper, I am going to put in the shim, because the thinner the paper, the more the shim, the thicker the cardstock, the less the shim. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Makes total sense.
Through. I think that's the best way to describe it. So it's the same with like a multimedia die. A multimedia die is thicker, you've got thicker material, you don't need as much pressure.
If you've got any specific questions about anything to do with these dies or anything you've seen with Debbie, you can get them into Me Crafters TV on Facebook, Crafters Companion, if you're over on YouTube. It's a bit of sort of different, this craft along now, isn't it, Debbie? We're just sort of freestyling it a bit.
We are. We're giving you some different alternatives. You've seen me do the gatefold, how Leanne and that team at Vers, that amazing team, how they wanted you to use your dies with the gatefold element. What I want to show you is why you need these dies in your life. They're not a one-trick pony. They are something that are going to offer you lots and lots of options. Now, when you bring that in, you've got that perfect frame. So let's stick that down. Like I said, with these particular ones that I'm showing you now, and I was going to stick to black and white, but then I thought, you know what? No, let's do them with the patterned. I was telling Eileen and everybody else out there to use it, and I might as well do it myself, because then I've got a set of cards that I can then decorate afterwards with sentiments, with other embellishments. And you can see now you've got that perfect pattern there. I will always recommend, always recommend all-purpose glue when it comes to matting and layering. And not just because it's a wonderful glue and it dries, honestly, it dries, it's like concrete hard. I always say it's like cement when it dries. It's so powerful, but it's got that wiggle time. You know, the wiggle time that I always think is important to get your things into place. So you can see you've cut that little piece, but of course you've got your nesting dies. So your nesting dies are going to sit perfectly into there. So we're going to cut out, and do you know what? I was thinking then, I could perhaps potentially use that if I wanted to. That would look nice. However,
that would look lovely put back in, wouldn't it?
It would, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out, and I'll do it with the patterned and then white, or the other way around, maybe. Well, actually, patterned with the largest one, so it stands off from there. But that's all we're going to do with that, Joe, is we're going to just choose a little bit of patterned cardstock. Now then, actually, Joe, I'll use, where's it gone? Spare bits of cardstock. You could cut out a full one and you could actually add extra little pieces onto here. So if you are doing a larger white one, you could have a white piece. If I just bring it in, you could have little pieces and create some extra little pieces if you wanted to, some extra little dimensions as well if you wanted to. However, we're going to cut out our inside panel. I'm going to use my nesting dies to create this. So I'm going to go in with a large, where's my white? Where's that white cardstock gone, Joe? I had it a second ago. There it is. I've shoved it underneath. There we go. Let's bring in.
The sun is really shining in New York by the looks of it, Debbie. I can see.
Eileen was
it looks quite sunny outside, actually.
Is it?
Well, I can only see it through frosted glass windows. It looks like it's quite nice. It's not dark anyway, which makes a change this week. It feels like it's been dark all week this week, doesn't it?
It's been so miserable, hasn't it, with the weather. It's been really, I mean, it's done nothing but rain. Oh, hang on a minute. I've had a slippage, 2 seconds. Had a little slippage there. Ooh, that was close. Yeah, it's done nothing but rain. Last couple of weeks. I don't know what it's been like up here for you guys, but oh my days, it's done nothing but rain. Every time I've got it hard to head out. Rain.
Yeah, it's been raining a week, isn't it? I would. Some friends of mine live in Sweden, Debbie, and they in Stockholm where they live, which is it's south. It's to the south of the country, let's say.
Okay.
They get about 3 hours of daylight in the winter.
They get what?
About 3 hours of daylight.
Of daylight?
Of actual daytime, yeah, about
really?
3 hours.
Oh,
yeah, so from about 1 o'clock, from about midday, so it's dark up until about midday, and then it gets light until about 3, and then it starts to get dark again.
Oh,
and in the north of the country, they don't get any daylight for it just gets a little bit lighter and then dark again.
Is that where the Northern Lights?
Yeah, because and the north is sort of like Sweden, Norway, at the top of those countries. No daylight at all. It's dark for over a month.
Oh, no thank you. Now,
but then in the summer, it doesn't get dark.
Oh my days.
I know.
And I'm moaning about a bit of rain. As you can see, these nesting dies are perfectly positioned to fit inside. So all I would do with this is I would either cut it, usually like a pencil, and you can do the pencil mark and then cut, or as I like to do, I like to stick it down and then cut it off. So that's what I'm going to do. First of all though, I'm going to layer those two on top of each other. So let's get those on. In fact, no, I might lift that. Yeah, I'm going to do that after. Do that afterwards, Joe. Let's stick that little panel down. So I'm going to pop a bit of glue on. And if you don't want to waste all of that, turn it over, get your glue or your tape pen, and just go up to the edge. Use your die cut as a little indication to where you need to put your glue. I always like to make things a little bit easy for myself sometimes, and this is an easy way of doing it. So if I just make sure, let's get that into place. And that's the beautiful thing about the wet glue. It allows you to do that, and it rubs off. So if you get any on your mats, absolutely fine. If you get any on the back, it just rubs off as well. So let's just turn that over and make sure it's not moved. Perfect. Let that dry. I am going to put some foam pads onto that and lift it, but you could keep it flat. It's entirely up to you. In fact, tell you what, let's make it easy for ourselves. We've got a few more concepts that I want to go through, and who knows, we might be able to create another one.
Oh, another one?
I'm making everybody work today, aren't I? Apologies, but I think think sometimes it's nice to be able to see what your dies can do for you. I mean, I love our dies and I love the concepts, and we always promise you when we do a launch that we will do a craft along to show you how to use. Sometimes we get a little bit carried away and come out with some amazing projects and forget. So it's nice to go back to basics and do things like this. So that's why I deliberately chose this way. And I've got a bit of tape that I can see on there, and it's annoying me, Joe, so I'm going to keep on going until I get rid of it. And then, do you know what? I'll use my guillotine to do this little bit. Let's bring in my guillotine. You could take a pair of scissors if you wanted to, or you could simply line it up. If you put it onto the edge of the edge of the blade at your guillotine, the only thing you're snipping off there is the actual piece, and you're not going into the cardstock. And you've got yourself your perfect mat and layer. And like I said, you could have a little play with that. You could add this on without having to cut into it. You could actually add it on, or you could put it on the centre part of your card so it could look a little bit. There's nothing to stop you from not using that any other way. Maybe go into corner and snip it. It's entirely up to you, but you can have a little bit of fun with that. But that for me wouldn't be waste. I would be using that possibly for the inside of your card and then put the verse inside. Actually, I think I quite like that, so that's what I'm going to do. Rather than me throw it away, because I would normally throw things like that away. But let's just go in, add that on. You've got yourself a nice little inner part. There you go. So that's another concept done. So that one is the black and white one, but just in colour. And then I've got something that I can add embellishments, bows, anything else that you want to add to it, but gives you a concept of how you can use that particular die set in a different way. And that's what we're going to do with the next one. So
amazing.
Get yourselves ready, because we're going to move on.
Yes, get yourself caught up. I want to share with you a great deal we've got on ink pads for you. It's the Quick Dry, Harmony Quick Dry ink pads that we've got. These are brilliant. We've got them in some amazing colours. It's a 9-piece collection that you've got here, and you'll get the fuchsia, crushed velvet. There's also grasshopper, then the orange, lemon tonic, pink tulip, the pine tree, plum jam, and also the sandstorm as well. £45 or $68 is your price there on those. £36 or $54.40. Lots of you chatting away with us as well. Deborah says that would make a great cookie card. Looks like someone has taken a bite from it. Oh yeah. How are we doing on the sugar crash in the gallery? Are we all right? Are we feeling it? Feeling it a bit. Right, there was the most amazing chocolate cake that Christina made today. It was like chocolate sponge with the lightest chocolate buttercream. I mean, it was like a cloud.
Stop.
Super sweet, really chocolatey. It was what? Was a proper... Was a proper wedge, according to Charlotte. It really was. But we all had it as we went live in the show.
No,
and
we
now,
didn't all have it.
Debbie didn't have it.
No, we didn't
She had
all
a
have
very
it.
vigorous sniff of mine, though, I can tell you. She got her nose right in there.
I pulled my hair back. I pulled the hair back. I went down and had a big sniff. Oh.
Of the chocolate cake. Yeah, excellent. Wonderful, Debbie. Brilliant.
So
I was
sorry.
tired. Debbie's brought me back into the room all of a sudden.
Oh, dear me. Oh.
Always tie your hair back before you sniff the chocolate cake. That's morals. That's the moral of that story. Good life advice. Right.
I'm sorry.
Eileen's chuckling away. In the, I can
But the
feel
thing
it.
is, can I just explain myself a little bit there as well?
Yeah.
I may have mentioned this before, but when I'm on a healthy eating plan, and I see things like that, and I'll just tell you as it is, for me to be able to accept that I can't, because you can have it in small moderation, but I sniff them. I sniff chocolate and I sniff chocolate cakes. It makes me feel like I'm a part of having it.
She smelt my salmon the other week, didn't you?
I did. Oh, I love salmon. I can have salmon. I love salmon. I absolutely adore it. But so for me,
What's your
it's just
favourite
that-
food to sniff?
Oh, chocolate. I'm not gonna lie, chocolate.
Right.
There's no better smell in the world, is there really? To be fair, apart from Jake, because he smells delicious.
Jake, what did you say? Apart from Jake, yes, Daddy.
I mean, is it expensive aftershave? He wears a really lovely aftershave that Johnny did.
It's aftershave that he would. Just to be clear,
Yeah,
I
just
thought
to
you were going
clarify, because that went from chocolate to smelling Jake, and that sounded even worse. I meant he smells amazing because he wears the most amazing aftershave.
Should we take a little, Eileen, save us please. How are you getting on in York? Oh, hang on there, Eileen, 1 second. How are you getting on there? Sorry, missed the first bit.
Not too badly.
Oh, excellent. Do you like sniffing food, Eileen? Have you been partial to smelling a bit of chocolate cake?
No, I don't get that near to it.
Fair enough. I think that's a pretty legitimate answer. Right, we'll drop in on you again soon, Eileen. Doing really well, keeping up. My goodness. I wonder what Holly thinks. That's Jake's girlfriend, fiancée? Girlfriend.
They're off.
Valerie says, not for me being dark all the time. I think I was supposed to be sleeping. I always think I'm meant to be asleep anyway, Valerie, no matter whether it's day or night. Who's this? Tess says, doesn't make us appreciate the sunshine. There's lots of laughing from Panda. Valerie says, oh, Debbie. Deborah says, OMG, Debbie. And Melly says, lol, Debbie, what are you like? The only thing that smells better than chocolate cake is Jake. Daddy, Jake. Right, should we want to move on? Should we start to try and move on? Yeah?
I've steamed up and everything. I'm just taking a moment.
You thinking about smelling Jake?
I just don't think before I speak. It's what I just need to remember to do. Oh. Brain. Right, so we're going to move on to another nice simple one. We're going to get the other two done, I promise you. I think we're on track to getting finished. I'm going to show you how to make this, although I'm going to put a little request out for our producer Johnny and Charlotte to shout out to either John or Julia, not Jake, John or Julia, could they find me some heavyweight acetate?
Heavyweight acetate?
Yes, please, just because I want a little bit of acetate for this. So we are going to create this lovely piece. This is so easy to do this, by the way. It's really, truly easy. So we are going to create a piece of cardstock. So you're going to use your, again, chosen cardstock. It could be any kind, but we're going to cut this to 7 by 7. Now, this is just for this particular design, and I did say earlier on, this would make a fabulous, thank you very much, Julia. She's so fast at getting things.
Julia, do you sniff food? Do you sniff food? Yeah. Like, just if you weren't going to eat it, you just give it a good sniff instead, and then...
And you feel satisfied by that, Julia?
No, I'd have to eat it.
Have to eat it. Do you smell Jake as well?
Oh, Jake smells good.
There you go, see? There you are.
See?
That's settled that.
I'm not the only one that thinks that. Now, with your 7 by 7 cardstock, to create this piece, we are going to just score it simply in half. So this is at 3.5 inches. So score that at 3.5 inches, give that a fold and burnish. And then I'm going to create the panel that fits underneath. Now, this is slightly different to the one that I did this morning. This actually could be a name place because of this particular fold. The one that I did this morning was completely different. So, and I'll bring that back in for you because I've got it here, Joe, where I actually just used it for a shape, to cut out a shape. This is actually a different way. It's like a floating element to it. So you got that tutorial from this morning that you can go back and follow. But for this one, I need to cut a panel out that's going to fit in here. So for that, the panel would fit in 3.25 inches, because this is 3.5, so 3.25. This is 7, so this is 6.75. And I think I'll use, while I've got this cardstock, I might as well use it, Joe, instead of wasting it.
Absolutely.
So we're going to come in at 3.25 inches. Go that side, so I've got that better. There we go, I can see that better now. There. So 3.25 inches by 6.75. We'll use that in a second. Come back to that. That now fits the perfect piece and the perfect part and the perfect panel ready for your dies. Now I'm going to go back to my vintage ticket for this one. And again, all you need to remember with this is how do we create the aperture? Well, we're not going to do it with this in situ. We're going to move that to one side. We'll come back to that in a second. To create the aperture, remember what I said, Joe? Inner panel. So the two pieces that you've got for your gatefold, it's going to be the inner one. And we're going to place that onto the top part. Now, for this to work, to create that perfect aperture, you need it to overhang. And what I mean by that is, if you don't, these two pieces are going to cut into your score line. So it's a bit similar. Do you know when we talk about doing easel cards? You want it to sit over the edge. So if I can see that a little bit there, bring it down. I don't want it to sit on the fold of the card, because if I sit it on the fold of the card, it's going to cut that fold of the card, and it's going to, well, I don't suppose it's cause you too many problems, because you could cover it up with a piece of cardstock, but it's just worth just doing this. And if I just turn that round now, can you see the die cut piece is just hanging over the edge? So what you're going to do now is, you're not going to open it up, because if you do, that die cut's going to flatten and go through your fold. You're just going to run it through like this. That's exactly what you're going to do. Pop it on, plastic shim. Actually, I think I'm going to through me with magnetic shim with this one, just because it's a little bit extra to cut through, and it is only a thin metal die, not a multimedia die. So I'm going to run that through, and that'll create and cut out the aperture. So for that, if I just bring that off now, and if I take my tape...
Gilmore wants to know if Jake's like a scratch and sniff...
Honestly, I know what you mean.
Scratch and sniff sticker.
He really
Apologies
should.
if that came out in a slightly different order there.
It's not only me getting tongue twisted today then. Oh dear. I wish people... honestly, it's... Why are you laughing, Joe? You were right down there, Joe. I should have never started this. This is your fault, bringing chocolate cake into it. If you'd have never brought the chocolate cake, we'd have never stooped so low. Oh dear. Right, so let's take the tape off. Are you okay, Joe?
It'll be a miracle if we get through today without...
I know. Now, can you see that's cut through perfectly, and it hasn't put any lines through there? Because what I just want you to remember is that they are die-cut lines, and that's why you make sure you've got that little bit of an overhang. We've got our perfect piece, and it's exactly the same. For your panel, you take the larger one, pop it into, and I'm going to do it again, where I'll just show it there for you so you can see it. Get your piece into place so that you can see where you need to position it. It's the easiest way for me to describe it for you and how to use it. Some of the experts might have a different way, but for me, I like to make... Crafting should be fun. It should be fun. It shouldn't be hard work. It should be nice and easy to do, and that's why I try and look at things in a simple way in how you do it, and that for me gives me the perfect mat and layer. I then take it off that cardstock, run it through my die cutting machine, and while we're at it, I'll get ready for using the nesting dies, because we're gonna, if you bring some acetate into the equation, and I think I put acetate down on that shopping list, I think. If not, just get a piece of acetate that will do this bit, but I'm pretty sure I put down acetate. I might be wrong. We'd have to have a little look at that. But what you've got now is, and again, if you get your glue, let's just push that to one side for the time being. Get your glue and decorate, and you'll see that it fits perfectly. Perfect proportion every single time. And that's why I like to do things to make it life easier. The dies do all the hard work. All I'm doing is placing it on and making sure it's in the right position for you to create that piece that fits onto there. But we want the floating element, so we're going to bring in, and if I just put these back onto my carrier sheets, let's just bring these back in. Let's get those. Make sure I've got the right one in the right way, because I know what I'm like, and it is only a fraction.
Crafting, Eileen, sorry, is crafting away like a whirling dervish, I can see there, isn't she?
She's amazing.
She is.
Amazing. And that's what it's all about, the craft alongs, isn't it?
She's trying to keep up, she says.
She's doing a fantastic job.
She is doing very, very well.
You. An absolutely fantastic job. So the outer layer I'm going to have with the pattern. Pop my tape on there. A scrap piece of white cardstock from a smaller piece. So let me bring in, there it is. Got my scrap bits, I knew I'd been keeping them. So let's just cut a little piece off for that. Run those two through. Isn't it lovely that we're crafting along together though and doing everything from scratch?
It is, absolutely
That's what
brilliant.
I love about this show. That you are real-time crafting with us here in the studio, which I just think is amazing. And I'm chuffed that we've got, for the second year running, I'm absolutely chuffed that we've got the online workshop. Is that right, Joe?
Yeah, online workshop.
And class, because
Class,
that's exactly
yeah,
what
workshop
these
and class,
are.
I think that was a title. Sylv says, can you imagine poor Jake helping out a trade show, running away from the hordes of women trying to sniff him? That's like him going down Newton Aycliffe High Street, to be honest, Sylv, I won't lie, so... Yeah. Oh, you should have seen when he had the mullet, honestly, the women were fainting.
Oh dear. Do you know his little daughter Mabel? Oh my God, she's
she
image
gorgeous?
of him. She's image of him. I mean, she's got beautiful parents anyway, because Holly's a stunning girl. So she's got some good genes, is all I'm going to say. Some really good genes there, definitely. And that's with both of them, not just with one, just in case anyone thinks I'm a bit weird.
I thought when the baby came along, you know, Jake wouldn't smell quite as good and maybe would be less stylish, but he seems to be as stylish and as fresh scented, let's go with that, as he's ever been.
Fresh scented, I love it. Right, I'm looking for some foam pads, just bear with me. I've got some, let me just bring in a couple of foam pads. So I'm just going to now, again, just do a little bit of...
Can you please define chuffed, says Wendy.
Oh, I'm so sorry, it means happy.
Right.
Yeah, that's right, isn't it, Johnny? Does it mean chuffed? It's a Yorkshire saying. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
It is a Yorkshire word.
It is a Yorkshire word,
but
chuffed.
when you say you're pleased or you're pleased to someone, chuffed to bits is what we say. So, I'm pleased. I've got another Yorkshire lass on the screen today. But yes. What's happening over there, guys?
Oh, just all in a very good mood. That chocolate cake. It's wearing off the chocolate, isn't it? The cake is. We're having that sugar slump, I think.
Pineapple.
Everyone's getting a bit giddy.
I had a tub of pineapple. There's some conversations going off in my ear that I don't understand.
Don't know. Johnny's gone. Johnny's gone. What are you crying for?
Have I met you? Oh, Johnny.
No, he's crying with laughter.
What have you done,
fallen
Joe?
off his chair. I
what
haven't
have you
done anything.
done? You've done something to him, haven't you, Joe? You've said something daft. It's not me.
I haven't said anything.
He's crying. I can hear him. He's actually crying in my ear. Little comic. So I'm just using...
now Charlotte's gone as well. I don't know why.
What are they like? The pair of them. Now, I'm going to put a bit of acetate just at the back. So I'm going to cut a slither of acetate. So I'm just going to cut it down to about... don't want too much. So I'm going to cut it to about 2.5 inches. Because that's just going to sit on the inside of there. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of... well, I'll use my tape for this one. Have they composed themselves yet, Joe?
No, Johnny's
so.
just had to turn himself off. He's gone so much.
I did wonder. I thought, what's going on
Charlotte's
in there?
on the cusp of going fully, I think.
So I've just cut
I
a
think
slither.
someone asked the definition of chuffed because one of us said chuffed in the show, didn't we?
It was me. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just because that's a word that we use a lot in Yorkshire. It is. He's still gone quiet, unless the batteries have gone
Oh,
dead.
he's gone, Debbie. He's gone. Right, he's absolutely on the floor.
Right, I'm just putting a couple of foam pads. I've got my acetate on the inside, so I cut that down too, and I just literally cut it down in the one that I've used is the acetate that our lovely Julia fetched for me, which is the one that we sell at Crafter's Companion in a pack. It's quite a nice heavyweight one, and all I've done was I used it in the portrait mate and cut it down to 2.5 inches, and just popped it on the inside to create a little bit of a floating element for my sentiment to sit into the centre. So like so. And then you've got now a lovely, and it could be a place name, it could be a placemat, something like that, but you've got yourself another little card concept. And this one is, let's just get that right, if you see the black and white one, that's the black and white one, but in your pattern cardstock, that's what it looks like. Ready for decorating. You two behave yourselves in there. You're ready for creating either a place setting or a different style card. Or of course it could be it could be this kind of card where it looks like it's floating on the left hand side. So it could be a nice card that you use to create a different dimension or a nice place setting.
Ah, I'm chuffed with that.
You.
Alison says chuffed means pleased with. Jill says chuffed means highly delighted. We use the word chuffed in Derbyshire, lots as well, says Journalin. We say chuffed in Scotland too, says Flick.
Hey, see, I'm not going daft.
Sylv says we need to know what scent Jake uses. What is it, Johnny?
Sauvage. Am I allowed to say that?
Sauvage.
Sauvage, yeah, it's sauvage. I ask him all the time because he comes in and he's
You
literally...
should bring a perfume out called Foliage.
Foliage.
Could be matching, couldn't it? Could
Yeah,
be
bring a
matching.
perfume out, foliage.
Right, shall we take a break and why don't we take a moment, compose ourselves? What do you think, Debbie?
Yes, please.
I think that would be good, don't you? Let's have a look at some other times when we've also had a giggle here at Crafters TV.
Welcome to Crafters TV. With more than 35 hours of live shows each week, it's your home for all things craft. We shine the spotlight on new and innovative crafting products with live tutorials and demonstrations. Join our family of craft experts where fun happens every day.
One that was really funny, Ben. You did.
It was better than your I'm a gnome and I live in a caravan.
I'm a gnome and I live in a caravan.
Can we clip that? We'll do it. Everybody's gone surfing, surfing USA.
Get creative and craft along. With our amazing deals, your next craft project is just a click away. Tune in live 7 days a week, or you can watch us on Catch Up at crafterscompanion.com, Facebook, or our YouTube channels. You can chat to us, craft along, and meet new friends by joining our online crafting community.
You entertain us. You give us a community to talk, in the chat. That wouldn't happen without you guys. It's like Crafters Companion is magical. There's magic here.
There's a show for every type of crafter, from first-time dabblers to full-time makers. Crafters TV. Create every day.
Here at Crafters TV, it couldn't be easier to get social with us. Whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, on your TV or tablet, you can get so close to the action, it's like you're in the studio with us. You can ask questions about products or crafty techniques. Get hints and tips from our expert demonstrators. Plus, share pictures of your crafty makes with our amazing community. Crafters TV, getting you closer to the crafty action.
Get ready to make the season brighter than ever and craft your Christmas live with Sarah. Join us for the most fabulous and festive night out as Sarah and I take to the stage to show you how to turn your home into a winter wonderland.
Cozy, bright and full of magic. Christmas is Sarah's favourite season. And she's got so many fantastic tips, money-saving tricks and creative ideas to bring your handmade Christmas to life. Find out how to reuse pieces from around the home and craft with your family to light up the festive season with joy and sparkle. From beautiful baubles and surprises to hang on the tree to the cutest cards for friends and family. Give a little more with your gift wrapping, craft keepsakes to cherish and make your Christmas table look extra special. Enjoy an intimate evening in conversation with Sarah and take a stroll down memory lane as she shares her childhood memories and invites you into her home to share what her family Christmas looks like today.
And I'll be there to get the Christmas party started. Sarah and I have so much up our sleeves. It will be a real all singing, all dancing night out. And we'll need you on stage to get hands-on with Christmas crafting and join the festive fun. So come along with friends and family to make it a festive Christmas to remember.
We'll be touring 13 theatres up and down the UK from the 19th of November till the 11th of December. Tickets start from just £30 with VIP packages also available. So head over to the Crafters Companion website to find out more or head over to Ticketmaster to book your seat today.
Right, should we check in with Eileen? See if she's she's not, I hope, it's not always like this, Eileen, is all I'd say. We are professional sometimes, Eileen. It's the cake, Charlotte says. We don't know what was in that cake. How are you doing? Are you keeping up with us, Eileen?
Yes, but I've put a die down and I can't find it.
Debbie, I mean, story of your life, Debbie, isn't it?
It's the story of my life, Eileen. It is the story of my life. It happens to me on a daily basis. And I know that you're not the only one. I know there are people out there watching right now that will sympathise with you too because it's a crafters thing. It just happens to us as crafters.
It's very sunny there, doesn't it? It looks gorgeous.
There,
it looks like a gorgeous day, Eileen.
York is a beautiful place.
Yeah.
your kids
It's
will
lovely, and
lovely
it'll be a
taste
lovely
in the world.
sunset tonight. And if I'm sitting here when the sun goes down, I'll actually see it because it sets down in front of the window.
Oh,
wow.
lovely. Right, I'm going to let you. I'm going to let you find that die, Eileen. I'll
Right.
drop back in on you soon. You know, like they have pigs for sniffing out truffles.
Yes.
We should get some sort of animal that sniffs out dyes. What could it be? Like, it could have, like, you know, dye gerbils. You know, rather than truffle pigs. So there must be something else we could get.
There will
Something
be.
cute.
There will be. Cute?
Yeah,
Guinea
something
pig? Who's
cute.
the guinea
Like
pig?
a cute animal we could have at home that sniffs out the dyes, the metal dyes. What do you think? Like a beaver? No, they live in water, don't they? It's probably not one of those. A beaver. A beaver.
A beaver, sorry.
Yeah.
My earring's going a little bit today. I do apologise.
Beaver.
A beaver.
Or, don't know. Needs to be something that we could keep at home. I'll work on that anyway. I'm not really getting much from the team, so let's just move on. I wish I had ordered an extra pad of this paper, says Alison. If it's the Johnny Depp one, it isn't Sauvage, says Lillian. So.
Oh, it's what our Joe told me it was.
Well,
yeah, Jake told me
according
it
to
was
Lillian,
Sauvage.
Lillian says that it's not.
Oh, we might have to investigate that. We might have to investigate.
Journaling says knew it. It's the best smell ever. So she recognises it. Clarice loves that last concept. Flick69 says, I so want to be listening to Johnny and Charlotte. You don't. You don't. She can't breathe, apparently. Rather than chuffed, in Manchester, we say made up, says Flick69 as well.
Proper made up, yeah.
Made up. Have you seen, there was a TikTok I watched yesterday and it was loads of like kids and toddlers with real regional accents. There's like a little girl from Manchester, another girl from Ireland. You know, kids have like the cutest accent anyway.
Aww.
They're really strong accents. Alison said, oh, I'd read that one already. Should we do something else then? Well, should we go back to Debbie?
Yeah,
Brilliant.
why not? Yeah. So, shall we do this one? I think we've got two to try and squeeze in this last half hour.
Two to get in 27 minutes.
I think we can do it.
All right.
We can do it. This one's really straightforward. It's just a piece of A4 cardstock folded in half.
Oh, easy peasy.
It's very nice and easy, this one. So it's your A4 folded in half. So if you've got your Ultimate Pro, you just go to that half fold A4. And on your scoreboard, it's just the one notch before 6. It's that simple. So even if you don't pull out your Ultimate scoreboard all the time, you can still achieve this with your smaller scoreboards, because that is your half fold A4 cardstock. So for this one, we're going to cut ourselves some panels out, and to create this effect, what we're going to do is we're going to cut 2 panels and then we're going to place those dies. Now this one is my, I'll use this one. So I'll use the ellipse frame for this. Same concept, where we're going to take the inner part of the die. So again, 2 nesting dies, an inner and an outer. So we're going to take the 2 inner parts and we're going to create the aperture. Now, how I do this, Joe, I'll just move that to one side, is, and I'm going to just push my board down here just for a second and measure this, because I place these on, and I normally do it with my glass mat. I always use my glass mat as a little bit of a measuring guide, because you've got your inches on here and all your measurements. So for me personally, and I just want to come in, and it's roughly around the 2.5 at either end. So when I say the 2.5 at either end, I meant 2.5 inches in. Now you could do that with a pencil and line it up, or you can just use your, and as I'm going to do, my glass mat. So I'm going to put that down, I'm going to go into 2.5 inches, I'm going to place it in, use that as it's a tool at the end of the day, this glass mat. I always say this, it's a tool that you can use in your crafting. So for me, it's a really useful tool because it acts as a palette. It's not just sat there for decoration, you can do things with it as well. So that's going to go in at the 2.5 mark. And if I were doing it the same way, I would just turn it round and do exactly the same so that I'm in the same position. So again, just either end.
Charlotte's gone again. I have no idea. What now? What is it now, Johnny?
What on earth are they?
She's just replaying the last 15 minutes in her mind, I think.
I wish I'd never started. I'd started something again, hadn't I?
She
It's
thinks
definitely, yeah, I think it might be the cake.
It's definitely the cake.
It could be an overload of chocolate, couldn't it? It could easily be an overload of chocolate. There you go. So what we're going to do now is we're going to cut through. Now, you could cut out just, and I literally just want to cut out the front part. So I'm going to expand this. I'm going to run this through the die cutting machine, like so. And again, because it's just the ordinary die, like no extra decorative features, I'm going to try it with just my plastic shim and the other cutting plate. There's no decorative features. I mean, there is a little bit of decoration in the shape, but there's no decorative die cut element to it, so it makes it a little bit easier on your platform. But again, if it doesn't work for you with that platform, pop your magnetic shim in. So if I just take those out, turn that round, and as it just, oh, I knew it, I just missed a little tiny bit there. So do you know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to put the magnetic shim in, I'm just going to run it through again.
Okay.
Let's just run it through again. Let's go in. That took anything
You
off,
love
there's
this
no
just
harm.
playing around, don't you?
Oh, I do,
You
yeah,
love having
I
a
do.
play.
I do
Is
all
this
the
what you do
time.
when you get a new collection of dies home?
Yes, all the time. I never ever just sit there and think, I just have a play with it. I look for inspiration as well. Oh, there's lots of places where you get inspiration. But as it comes to the machine, it's about getting to know your machine. And I've said this many a time to people. I used to say in store all the time, get to know your machine, find out what works for you, and who's to say running it through twice is not, you know, I mean, I know that I've not caused any damage to my plates because I've not put extra pressure on that shim. So for me, it's always a good tip, and it was a tip that I learned very early on. And like I said, they are consumables. You will need to replace them at some point, but you don't have to replace them fast because they should last you a long time. Now, as you'll see, it's caused, I've got my two tabs, flaps, tabs, whatever you want to call it. Oh, that is a pair of, I think that is very cute. But I just want to release this. So I'm going to release that piece with either a
I don't know what happened there.
Sorry, with a craft knife.
He was having such a nice time.
Oh, well, it is, yeah, well, we'll go in with that. We'll release it with my craft knife. Scissors, I wouldn't use a guillotine. A paper trimmer's fine. If you've got your Violet Studio paper trimmer, that's absolutely fine to use that because that's got that part in where you can lift it up and go down at an angle. Any paper trimmer would offer you that kind of option. But scissors is fine, but if you're not very good with a straight line, and do you know what? You could use that. You could absolutely use that for something else as well. So I'll pop that to one side. I'm going to bring back in the acetate because I need to create some rigidity. For this floating element, you can't... It would be just too flimsy. It would, I don't think it'd hold and stand very well. So as much as you can put your score lines into place, like so, we need to create some rigidity. So again, with all of our heavyweight sheets, it has a carrier sheet on. So you need to release the carrier sheet. And I'm going to keep that as a whole because it is half fold A4, this acetate. So I am just going to pop on these two leg parts. I'm just going to pop on my tape. So let's go in. Can you hear something, Joe?
Yeah,
I just thought
Julia.
then, I'm thinking, I can hear some talking, and it felt like it was in the belt, like right here. So I just wondered who it were. Just thought I'd be a bit nosy and find out. Pop that on, pop that down, and you've got now a very strong and a lovely floating element to be able to use your nesting dies. But we're going to come back, we're going to put those back in there for a second. So I'm going to put those back on the carrier sheet. So that's the inner part that's created the aperture. And as with all of these dies, to create, and if we get to that last card, I'll show you something that's a little bit, it's probably going to blow your mind, but we'll show you how you do this. But what we're going to do now, it creates that perfect matten layer with the outer parts. So the panels for this actually are, so if you think about this, this is 2.5, so I want it to be 2.25 by the size of this part. And this is actually at just shy of 6 inches. So I'm going to cut my two panels, and do you know, while we're in keeping with the lovely patterns, shall we go in with another pattern cardstock, Joe? Let's go in with another pattern. Let's cut our two pieces down to, the two panels are going to be 2.25 inches. Are you feeling all right there, Joe?
Yeah, I'm just limbering up. I'm just, you've got to, sometimes you just got to get the blood pumping again, haven't you? I've been standing a lot, just doing a few very deep lunges, Debbie.
Limbering up, a bit of limbering up there. So these measure in at 2.25 inches by 5 3/4. So if I just bring that in for a second, you'll see now that they again are the perfect piece that fit over. So we're going to come in with our outer dies. and it's exactly the same process. So if I just pop that there, I'm going to line it up to the very edge, and then I am going to just do it that way, hold it down, bit of low tack tape, and that would be with either side. So again, really nice, really straightforward. Perhaps could have done with a little fraction off my bottom piece, but I'll do that in a second. But yeah, so easy to use these, and they make it a joy, an absolute joy to work with. They take all the faff out of doing all your panels and all your measuring, because having to try and work out how it fits into there can be a bit tricky. So again, just run that through your die cutting machine. We'll go in with the small plates again. Let's bring those in. Let's pop those on and run those through, and we'll do the same with the mat and the layer. If I just run that in.
I think I'm getting the cake wearing off feeling now as well, Debbie. That's what it is.
Is it wearing off? Are you hitting it?
We're going to have to try and keep the cake until after the 2 p.m. show, I think, in future, because it's causing havoc, absolute havoc.
Is it really? You see, I feel fine because I had my natural sugar rush with my pineapple, so I feel absolutely fine. Oh. You poor things. You'll have to have a lie down in a second.
Let's have another piece of cake, I think. That'll get me through.
She'll have hid it. She's gone now, Christina, so it'll be gone. And I imagine that cake did not last.
I know where she hides them, don't worry.
Do you really?
Yeah.
What are you like?
I know.
Do you really know where she hides them? Oh.
I'm sure I could find them though. I'm like a little truffle pig when it comes to, you know, if there's not a chocolate cake that I can't smell out.
Now, lastly, mat and layer. Get your mat and layer piece. And I'm going to use this waste. I'm going to have, I think I'll have a pattern cardstock on the inner part. So we've got us 2 pieces there. So let me grab a little piece of this. In fact, I'll have the larger patterned, and I'll have the white on the inside. So again, nice and straightforward. I'm going to use this scrap while I'm at it. Might as well. And then just run that through your Gemini. And again, nearly done and dusted with the next card, because all you're going to do is stick those down. It's that straightforward, it's that simple. Let's pop that over, magnetic shim, and run those pieces through. And again, you've now got a lovely floating element, so be sticking those pieces into your panel. We might have to check in on our lovely Eileen again as well, so we'll check in on her, and then we'll see if we can get that last concept through before we close the show. So there you go, Joe. So all you're going to do now is, while you've got these, and again I've been just doing it in patterned and plain white cardstock, but literally pop your panels, sit them in, and then stick those into the centre. And they can go on the inside or the outside, it's entirely up to you. So I'm going to get those stuck down, Joe, while you have a little chin wag with our lovely Eileen.
Indeed.
But yeah, there you go. That's as simple as that is. And it fits, again, perfectly proportioned, perfectly sized each and every single time.
Brilliant, absolutely awesome. It's that after chocolate cake feeling, Joe, says Lynn. It is, it really is. Should we drop in on Eileen, see how she's doing there? Are you doing all right, Eileen? I can see you beavering away in the corner there.
Yeah, I'm slightly behind Debbie, but I'm keeping up.
Excellent, that is what I like to hear. It's still got one more to fit in. We have indeed. Debbie's just finishing that one off though.
Yep, I'm just finishing
at the moment. Don't forget about Cartload this evening, of course. Double discounts galore. How's Debbie's double discount bag? 60% of the bag has sold out and gone. So you'll need to be quick for that. Those ornaments were exceptionally busy as well in the earlier show. So if you want those, you will also need to be very quick for those too. Remember what's happening tomorrow here on Crafters TV as well. It's myself and Corinne, who she just texted me actually to let me know that she was going to be at the house later. Yes, and I'd see her. I shall go home tonight after Cartload, and maybe I'll try and get her to watch Drag Race with me. I wonder if she's seen it. We'll see what she makes of that, and we can have a full debrief tomorrow in the show. But wake up call myself and Corinne tomorrow, 11 a.m, 7 a.m. East Coast. We'll be looking ahead to, firstly, a launch day of something new from Violet Studios, which will be brilliant. That's at 2 p.m. in the UK, 10 a.m. East Coast. And then closing out the week in style, we've got a craft vault with myself and Corinne. That, of course, from at 6 p.m. in the UK, 2 p.m. East Coast, 11 a.m. if you are over on the West Coast. So make sure you come and join myself and Corinne for that all day tomorrow, which will be lots and lots of fun. Right, how are you getting on, Debbie?
Nearly done, Joe. Just trying to find me. I'm trying to find me foam pads because I've misplaced. Oh, do you know me and these foam pads? Do you know what I'm going to go in with? I'll go in with my chunky glue because I've misplaced them. I've just stuck my middle panel down, but I'm just going to pop in just into there just to lift it again. And that is your black and white one. And that's your patterned one.
Amazing.
And again, you've created a lovely half fold card with that almost like a floating element there. And again, just decorate those up. So I would be using it, if you've used black and white, use it as a concept card. And I'm going to swiftly get ready for the last one, just in a second, Joe, which will just take me a couple of minutes. Yeah.
Brilliant. Let me run back through the dies then that you've got here for you. So these ones just here. We've got the scallop circle. Then you've also got stylish mosaic in there. That one there is a deco square. We've got the ellipse frame, and you'll also get the vintage ticket as well, which is brilliant. So you get all 5 of those, 51.96 or 59.80. Don't forget as well about that A3 cardstock, really busy on this. It's part of our double discounts, this one. So you've got in here all of those gorgeous pastel shades there as well. And then you've got your, Debbie, honestly, Debbie's swanning around the studio like we've still got a couple of hours left, I think. I'm like, we've also then you get 20 sheets of that. You've got 25 sheets of the hint of gold there, silver hint of gold, or snow white hint of gold, and then you've got the snow white hint of silver. You'll also get another 25 sheets of that. So you get 70 sheets in total in there, which is brilliant value. Spin over here, pinching my Centura Pearl. 25.81 or 38.05 if you want to get that one. Right then, Debbie.
Well, I wanted to pinch a bit of A3 cardstock for this one because to create this one, need a bit of a bigger piece of cardstock. So this one, we're going to cut down to 13 inches in total by 6. Now, if you haven't got any way to be able to cut this, if you haven't got a large guillotine, because the large guillotine goes up to, if I remember, it's just about shy of, is it about 30? Let's just check what it goes up to. Just goes up to 13. So you could actually do it on your large guillotine. If you haven't, don't worry, because you could actually do this just by simply scoring and then cutting in half. But I can get away with this one with my large guillotine. But I'll just explain that in a second, how you could do it with your smaller one. So I'm just going to cut it down to size. So what you would do is, if you haven't got a large guillotine, is you would put all your score lines into place to start with. So for this, on your piece of large cardstock, you would score at, once you've cut it, well, you can cut it down afterwards, like I said, I'll explain in a second. You're going to go in at 3 inches. You're going to go in at 4.5 inches. Now, if you've got your large scoreboard, you're going to go in at 8.5 and 10. If you haven't got a large scoreboard, you just turn it around. And you repeat that 3 and 4.5. If I don't make sure I've got that right way.
Amazing.
Let me just make sure I've got that the right way around. 3, 4.5. Oh, wait a minute. It's 2. Debby Robinson. You and your daft. Oh, no, it's not. It's 3. We're right first time round. Of course it is. Because you need all your scalloped edge. Yes, of course it is. Whew, I thought I got that bit wrong myself then. So again, 3 and 4.5. So if I just put those down. Now, if you didn't have a large guillotine, you'd put your score lines into the first part, score them down, and then turn it and cut through your smaller guillotine, and you can get away with that way. Because what we're doing is we're creating ourselves a almost like a reversed easel with this one. And if I just show you this style of card, and put the fold lines in. I mean, I wouldn't do this first normally. I would normally put the die cuts through, but I just want to be able to show you the style of the card, of where you're going to start with. So this is 13 inches by 6. You score it at 3 inches and 4.5 inches. If you've got a large scoreboard, 8.5 and 10. If you haven't, turn it around 3 and 4.5. It gives you an even reversed part. Can you see that? And then you're going to take your chosen die. Now, I'm going to come in with, and what I want you to think about here is the bit that we're going to do. So if I just bring in my black and white one for a second. What this does is, and I'm actually going to do this in black and white rather, because I want you to see how you put your panels on. You would do your normal measurement for your panel, you take it from that inner part, but what I want you to concentrate on, because I know we're fast running out of time, is these two pieces.
Okay.
So for these two panel pieces in black cardstock, I want you to cut down, and remember this is 6 inches, so we know we're going to go up to 5 3/4, but for this panel it's 3 inches, so we go to 2 3/4. Really straightforward, simple measurements. So 2 3/4 by 5 3/4. 2 3/4 by 5 3/4. Perfect panel that sits in there, perfect panel that sits in there. And then obviously if you're going to do your middle parts, and you're working out your middle bit, well, like I said, you would just take your measurement from there. And on this case, if I remember it rightly, it is a 4 inch, so you cut it to 3 3/4 inches. And again, I'll just do it by 5 3/4. And that would sit there onto the centrepiece. So 13 by 6, score at 3 inches, 4.5 inches, 8.5 and 10. These two panels measure in at 5 3/4 by 2 3/4, and that's for both of them. And this measures in at 3 3/4 by 5 3/4. That's your pieces done. However, we want to cut out, and we're just going to remove those two for the time being. We're going to cut out the panels. Now, this outside edge, this is the only time when you're doing this style of card that I've been telling you all afternoon, you're going to use the inner part to cut the outside and then the panel. But you're reversing it. It's a reverse easel. So we're going to take the largest one. This is the only time that I want you to think about how you use these dies in a different way, because the panel is going to sit on the inside. So if I bring this back in, you have to reverse it. So the outside is going to be the larger one, and the inside is going to be the smaller one. When you reverse the gatefold, that's the only time. I'm going to take it up to the very edge. I'm going to hold it down with some low tack tape. I'm going to do exactly the same with the other side. So I'm going to come right up to this edge. Just bring that there, sorry, and then bring that in. Low tack tape. And then run that through your die. Now,
awesome.
This is too big for your Gemini A4 piece, so we're going to just pop it in and run that through on the Gemini Junior, one piece at a time.
Amazing.
And
Carol Ann
says,
says,
back in. Sorry, Joe.
Sorry, Carol Ann said, Joe, do you remember when we did the Nutcracker craft along with Debbie Fisher and I couldn't join in because I misplaced my box? That was a long time ago. She went, well, I've just found it. So if you're doing that, well, I can join in now.
So you can join in now.
Yeah, you can now.
That's
better late than
amazing.
never, Carol Ann.
I realised I'd put me magnetic shim in and I didn't need magnetic shim, Joe, so I'm just going to run that through.
Karen says, thank you, Debbie. I haven't been able to use these dies and I have a much better understanding of how they work. And Chivixon says, I've been busy with work, so I haven't been able to join in during the craft along, but I love the concept card library. Thank you, Debbie.
You're welcome. You're welcome. We often show you them, but we don't show you how to do them, because we show you what our lovely Marie creates, but we don't show you how to do those cards unless we're doing. And normally, this is why I love craft along. Normally on our shows, we have things pre-cut, pre-done, because we need to get through as much as we possibly can during the shows. The lovely thing about the craft along is that we've got the time to be able to do this with you step by step. So I know I feel like this last bit's being rushed, but apologies, but I just wanted to show you how you would do that and create the template for that card. And then those two panels, this is when you're gonna, and again, you would do exactly the same thing in terms of how you layer it on, but because we've reversed the easel, what we're actually doing is we're taking the inner pieces, and the inner pieces then sit in. If I just go up to that edge again, I'll do it that way so you can see. We're going to go in, and I'll just run these through so I can show you how you lay them on. I've got enough time, Charlotte, Johnny?
You've got 5 minutes left.
That's fine, it's just enough time. We'll just get this little bit done, and then we can go and see how our lovely Eileen's doing as well. And again, bit of tape. I'm going to hope that don't move because I want to really just quickly run this through the Gemini. But this is the only time that I've asked you to think about that reversed easel part. It's the only time you use the outside die to create the outside part when you're doing a fancy fold, because you want it, because it's just literally reversed on itself. So if I just take those out, let's see if I can get those off very quickly. Our tape is wonderful, but Joe, do you know when it goes through the Gemini?
Yeah, a bit sticky, isn't it, sometimes?
And actually, if you've noticed, when I haven't used the magnetic shim,
whilst you're
tapes come off really quick.
Whilst you're just getting that off of there, I'm going to check in with Eileen one last time.
Thank you.
Eileen, how are you getting on there?
Oh, wait a minute.
Right, 1 second. We're gonna.
Because
right,
of course,
Eileen, how are you getting on?
The dice.
Sorry.
I got messed up with the last one, with the one with the big sheet of acetate in.
Oh, okay.
Because I just got muddled up with the dies. So what I've done is, I don't know if you can see it here.
Oh, nice. That's amazing.
Happy accident, because that looks stunning.
Yeah, I've cut it and I'm going to put a piece of ribbon straight across it.
Yeah, it looks fabulous.
Looks stunning. It really, really does. Eileen, it's been lovely having you on the show with us today. I hope you've enjoyed it.
I have. I really have. I was a bit nervous about actually joining you, and I'm thrilled to bits that I was actually chosen. But I've had a well of a time. Thank you.
Well, you're more than welcome. It's been an absolute pleasure. Would you recommend other people come and join us?
Absolutely, yes. Yeah.
Oh,
brilliant.
Yeah, I would.
And will you join us again, Eileen?
I will, Debbie, yes. I love you too.
Oh, thank you.
We love you as well.
We
We were saying just before the show, Eileen's in. We love Eileen. Right, Eileen, have a brilliant day, won't you? And I'll see you back here again soon. Take care.
Take care. Bye.
Bye. Oh, isn't she lovely?
So lovely.
Lovely lady. Lovely, lovely lady. Absolutely a pleasure to have her on. And see, it's not as scary as you think. And you know, we're always welcoming new faces. But literally,
especially with that chocolate cake, Debbie.
Literally, I've just shown you how to put that together. I know I've rushed that last little bit. The only difference that this one is that it's got the nesting dies in the centre part. But I hope you agree. I think we've had a bit of fun. Whew, we've got a lot. Let me show you what we've done.
We've done loads.
Let's just recap what we've done, because I think today has been.
Don't forget, it's the award-winning craft along.
Well, absolutely it is, because this is where we started. We started with a way to use them, with our original. And we'll
so that'll be the card of the show then, that one there. We'll put that in for card of the show.
But then what you've got is, in fact, you know what? You can submit them all in, because to be fair, they're all part of the craft along.
Well, we'd have to do a vote.
We've got our lovely concepts of how we've used them. Where's the other one gone, Joe? Because I thought I pulled them all. Oh, there they are. Look, there it is. We've got our other lovely piece, and then we just finished with that lovely show you how to pop that together as well. So I really truly hope you've enjoyed it. Any questions, you're more than welcome to direct message me at any point. You can go over to my page, Debby Robinson at Crafters Companion, and message me there if you get stuck with anything. But you've got this show permanently. It lives permanently on Crafters TV and YouTube for you to go back to. And I've tried to show you, well, we've done 5 different concepts. Be really proud of yourself if you've achieved those 5 in those 2 hours. And whether you're using it as a concept suite for future cards with these dies, I've done my job. I feel like I've done my job right.
Yeah, it's been brilliant. It really has.
They're a brilliant die set, concepted by Leanne and the team for layered gatefolds. But they do so much more, and that's why you need these dies in your life.
Yeah, you've showed us that today, Debbie. You really have.
Thank you.
Don't forget, myself and Debbie back here in 2 hours then. So 6 p.m. in the UK, 2 p.m. East Coast, 11 a.m. West Coast. We have got an amazing cartload for you. There's Debbie's double discount bag. Make sure you do not miss out on that. Lots of brilliant deals. It's been a really busy day. I'm sure we're going to have another fun show a little later. Big thanks to Debbie, of course to Eileen as well, and all of you at home. Make sure you check out your baskets, and we'll see you here in 2 hours' time. Take care.